From Ball Field, the soccer complex on the south side of Faribault, I'm Gordy Kosfeld bringing you girls soccer tonight, Big Nine Conference style. The Faribault Falcons and the Albert Lee Tigers literally going toe-to-toe tonight. Again, Troy Temple is here. We are elevated thanks to Faribault Rental for providing the hydraulic scissor lift. We can get elevated and actually see. When we did a match here a year or two ago, we sat on picnic tables, and that was not really elevated enough. And I think we're high enough now, although I would love to see some sort of a media box put on top of the roof here of the ball soccer complex. That would be awesome. You could have scorekeeper there, your public address announcer there, and I could actually broadcast a few more matches because you have that elevated status. I was planning on maybe doing a boys contest at Bruce Smith Field, but then we did the one earlier this week here at the ball soccer complex. It got moved here from Bruce Smith Field. That's how that goes. Anyway, I was just about to tell you who's bringing our broadcast here tonight when the screen left me, so we're going to try and get that back here. I didn't even touch it, and it went bye-bye. Our broadcast is service of Weichert Realtor agent Evan Knutson, Faribault, also by Federated Mutual Insurance of Owatonna. Gopher Hills Golf Course is also bringing you our broadcast tonight from the Ball Field Soccer Complex across the middle school on the south side of Faribault. Not too far from here are the KDHL radio towers. I can see them from here. Of course, they're across the road from Divine Mercy Catholic Church. Bethlehem Academy is having their homecoming this week. Faribault is a cooperative. There are some BA kids on the Faribault Falcon girls and boys soccer teams for that matter. So we're looking forward to having a lot of fun here tonight, calling some girls soccer, and it's a special night, too. I know the coach told us that they're going to have elementary teachers. This is education night. Elementary teachers are going to go out with the introductions with the students, and it's a youth soccer night, too. There are going to be some little people here that play soccer, so that's going to be awesome. Looking forward to that. The Faribault Falcons come into this record of 2 wins, 4 losses, and 2 ties. I'm checking out the Albert Lee record even as we speak. The Tigers are coached by Amy Wachholz. She's assisted by Spencer Dahl, Schaefer Overgaard, and Kendra Olszewski. Their managers are Atiziri Resendez and Alexis Nessie. And the Faribault Falcons head coach is Britta Peterson-Lindy. Her assistants are Lowell Peterson, her dad, and Abby Stroop. Morgan Sterling is the student manager. So I want to thank Shane Gunderson for the cooperation of allowing us to bring this out and do this broadcast here tonight. Looking forward to it. Well, it's going to be a gorgeous night. If you got time, come on over. The concession stand is over. They got pizza in there. They got fresh homemade cookies. Wish I could have one. Now that I'm diabetic, I probably shouldn't. I could probably sneak a half of one maybe, and wouldn't be too big a deal. But I'm trying to avoid that stuff just because you got to learn how to eat differently, right? So, but they have Godfather's Pizza here, and they don't have hot dogs tonight, but they have the pizza. They have the, like I said, I think they're chocolate chip too, cookies, freshly baked. So both teams are warming up. The Falcons to my left and the Albert Lee Tigers to my right. The Albert Lee Tigers are 2-6 in the Big Nine. They are 3-8 overall in the season. They don't have the ties listed here for Faribault. And Faribault's listed as being 2-5. Coach told me they were 2-4-2. So that's according to Minnesota Dash Scores. So, who knows what's accurate. Need to go to the Big Nine website where they got the standings on the Big Nine website. That's what I'll try and grab earlier, and then I can give you some information on that. It says here they're 2-5-2, and she told me they were 2-4-2. 1-5-1, I think, is what it said in the conference in the Big Nine. They're 2-3-1 on the road. Here at home, they're 0-2-1, so they'd like to pick up their first road win, right? And it's a special night for them tonight. Looking forward to some really good girls soccer action. I know Coach Peterson Lindy told me that she really emphasizes defense. She's not a big hit the ball and run, chase the ball kind of person. She wants to be a little more organized than that, so we'll see how that goes tonight. Albert Lee, if I remember, I did 2 Albert Lee matches last year, I do believe, in Albert Lee. One of them was against Owatonna, and it was a thriller. That was a great match. And Albert Lee was a little more freelance, if you know what I'm saying. At least that's the way it appeared to me. I don't pretend to be a soccer expert by any stretch of the imagination. I had a nephew and a niece that played, and they went to state titles and everything else up in the Fargo area, but I watched some of it, but I didn't get to see, obviously, all of it way up there in Fargo. As the Falcons are warming up, and it should be interesting to see how this ends up here tonight. We're more than halfway through the regular season. Playoffs are just a couple weeks away, which is hard to believe. October is when you have the playoffs, and October is on the doorstep, right? Next week is October. If you are going to come out tonight, I would highly recommend that you bring a light jacket and maybe a blanket, because when that sun goes down, it gets chilly. There's absolutely no wind out here. The U.S. flag is draped right down the pole behind the scoreboard to my right here at the Ball Soccer Complex. Beautiful facility. We are so blessed to have this field in Faribault and not have to have every team in the world play on the football field, right, which is not artificial surface but natural grass, which quite frankly I like. A lot of players I talk to like it as well, although there are some players I know that I've talked to that would like to see us get artificial surface, but I can't imagine it being a whole lot cheaper. You know, you're talking millions to put it in, and then every 10 years or so you got to replace it. So I thought they might have the introductions a little early, so that's why I went on when I did. I apologize for that, because I was told this is a special night. They're doing a coin flip across the way. Co-captains and the coaches are out there, and the officials, the 3 officials. Albert Lee Tigers are in their blue. They got powder blue and dark blue shorts, both. The white tops with a dark blue trim. And the Faribault Falcons are primarily in green. They do have some white outlining and white numerals for the Faribault Falcons. White socks for the Tigers, green socks for the Falcons. And as with most sports, we got all kinds of different colored shoes out here. When I was a kid, there was no having your own colored shoes. Everybody wore white, or everybody wore, well, I think it was always white, if I remember right. Again, a big thank you to Faribault Rental for allowing us to use this. If you would like to rent this, it's very reasonably priced. And believe me, it sure beats climbing a ladder. If you're going to clean your gutters, do some paint trim around anywhere in the house, or if you're going to clean your windows or something, this is perfect. Perfecto. I think they even have a trailer that comes with it, right? That you can hook up. Now you need obviously a ball hitch or to put it on, but they take care of that for you out at Faribault Rental as well. Very reasonably priced.
And welcome to the Faribault Soccer Complex on Ball Field for the soccer match between the Albert Lee Tigers and your Faribault Falcons.
That's Dave Weber.
Starting lineup for the Tigers. Number 1, Sydney Coulter. Number 2, Ingrid Peralta Linares. Number 3, Maggie Olson. Number 4, London Berglund. Number 5, Aaliyah Heidman. Number 7, Stella Scottheim. Number 8, Maria Clary. Number 11, Hannah Schumacher. Number 12, Adela Warrington. Number 18, Haley Wallace in the goal. And number 22, Haley Austinson. The Tigers are coached by Amy Rockholtz, assisted by Spencer Dahl, Schaefer Overgaard, and Kendra Bolshevsky. And now for your favorite Falcons. Number 1, Claire Anderson, goalkeeper. Number 2, Kaylee Bertram, defender. Number 5, captain, Bella Hammer, midfielder. Number 6, Maddie Kramer, defender. Number 7, Eve Vivitz, midfielder. Number 8, Yameth Rodriguez, defender. Number 9, Captain Sivana Schwartz, striker. Number 12, Fiona Voigt, defender. Number 13, Annika Voigt, midfielder. Number 14, Tavia Coble, defender. Number 17, Captain Eliana Garcia. The Falcons are coached by Britta Peterson-Lindy, assisted by Lowell Peterson and Abby Stroop. And now if you turn to the scoreboard, we will also set the national anthem.
Well, there you have the playing of our national anthem out here at the Ball Soccer Complex ball field. Lights are on, and we're just about set to get this underway. The Faribault Falcons and the Albert Lee Tigers. I think I saw where Albert Lee won earlier this week. That's right, I was going to look up the Big Nine standings here, wasn't I? On the Big Nine website. That is if they update them. I got to get rid of this email that I got on my phone, and I got to figure out how to do that. Seriously? Oh, man. I gotta get searching somehow. Yes, that doesn't. There we go. That's where I want to go. Big Nine Conference. And of course, it comes up with Big Ten. And then I got to put Minnesota because there's more than one Big Nine in the United States. Believe it or not, Faribault's going to kick off here. They're going left to right on your radio dial. Albert Lee right to left. And ready to kick off for Faribault is Sivana Schwartz. Let's see if I can find the girls' soccer standings here. Whoops, I pushed the wrong thing, like usual. And we're off as the kickoff is made, and the Faribault Falcons do have control at the moment. Ball's still at midfield. Now it goes into the Falcon zone. There's a kick up in the air. The knee, knocking it down with her knee is Drewitz. And then it's sent all the way to the other end of the field. So Albert Lee's more of a hit-and-run type team, it looks like. All right, scores and standings. Let's see. Girls soccer. Albert Lee trying to gain control. They're going right to left, remember. Faribault, nice steal there. And then Albert Lee gets it back on the near side with the ball for Albert Lee. And then kicking it out of bounds was Sydney Coker, the sophomore. In net for Faribault is Claire Anderson. She is a sophomore. She's wearing looks like a pink top. Got kind of some different colored gloves, I noticed when I was over talking to the head coach. Albert Lee gains control, kicks it down the field. Faribault does a nice job getting back on defense. Remember, we told you they like to play good defense. Name of the game, as trying to get control of it, was Tay Corbel, the sophomore defense person. It's inbounded, knocked down on the far sideline by a light pole. And they're going to say the ball goes to Faribault as it was knocked out of bounds. So they will inbound the ball. Two-hand pass in. Comes in, bounce, and then it's kicked back by Albert Lee to try and set up something. And then Faribault ends up with the ball. Albert Lee, it's kicked back right to left just across midfield, and the Albert Lee Tigers knock it out of bounds. Inbounding it again was Corbel. A nice header by the Falcon, and then comes back the other way in the Albert Lee zone. A kick down the far sideline is going to go out of bounds, and Faribault will gain control again. The pass comes in, the header by Albert Lee, and I don't know, that didn't look like it was even, unfortunately, thrown to a green jerseyed player as it's kicked back into the Albert Lee zone, deeper. Faribault trying to gain some control here and see if they can't set something up, and then it gets off the legs of one of the Falcons and out of bounds. There's Albert Lee trying that hit and run. The Tigers end up with it. They got a little bit of a breakaway going here. Kick to the middle of the field in the box. The goaltender slides out. The ball comes out. It's kicked to the left of the box, right of the goaltender, as I'm looking at it, into the corner. And a nice defensive play there by the Faribault Falcon to knock that ball away and not allow her to get it to the middle of the field. That was an outstanding play by Yamaleth Rodriguez, a sophomore. Ball comes in, it's knocked down. Rodriguez steals it. Now Albert Lee comes up with it. Little side English on the ball. It's kicked wide of the net, and it'll belong to Faribault. So that good defense was shown there by the Falcons. 36:20 to go, first half. We're at Ball Field. We were going to do the Faribault Falcon road volleyball match tonight, and then when we found out that Faribault girls soccer was here against Albert Lee tonight, and we earlier this week were here with this beautiful hydraulic scissor lift thanks to Faribault Rental. We said, hey, can we borrow it again? And Jake was really nice and said, sure. Again, you can rent this. You can rent this and do painting or window cleaning or whatever, right? Why climb a ladder if you don't have to? As nobody has control now, the Albert Lee Tigers. Croker passes it ahead, and it's banged all the way down toward the Albert Lee goal. Here comes Faribault. Oh, my. She kind of overran the ball, and the goalkeeper came out. That was pretty precarious situation she was in because she was flat on her belly and ended up grabbing the ball. Yeah, it was banged ahead by Faribault's Kaylee Bertram. She's a junior. As the Falcons, middle of the field, attempted pass down is knocked down by Albert Lee, and the Faribault Falcons get a kick here. Right at mid portion of the field, probably halfway between the center circle and the top of the box. Moving left to right, getting ready to kick it for Faribault is Fiona Voigt, a freshman. And here's the kick, and it is, that was off the goalkeeper in the top of the net. That would have been in. It is a goal. They say it's a goal, didn't they?
They went off the ball. There was a handball, so it's a penalty kick.
Oh, okay. There's violation. What a bummer.
Because it's in the penalty box, it's a free kick. Penalty kick.
So she's going to get a penalty kick here. And I mean a penalty kick. That's probably, 10 yards out is the penalty kick. And here she goes. She scored. That's right, she scored! 34-37. You see the number, Troy? I didn't see the number who kicked it. You see who kicked that?
5, is it? No. Right.
Is it number 5?
I think so, right on the circle. She ran the circle.
If it's number 5 who kicked it, it's Bella Hammer. She's a junior. I didn't see, she was sideways from me, so I couldn't see a number. And obviously I haven't seen these girls. This is the first time I've seen them, so it's not like I can tell who they are just by looking at them. And then the ball's knocked out of bounds by Faribault. Falcons lead at 1-0. They scored at the 34-30 mark. I should write that down. 34-30. And, of course, my pen's not working now that I need a pen that works. Gee, many crickets. Well, it's going to have to work, I guess. Albert Lee is going to kick it back toward the Faribault goal. They've got the 1-0 lead. And now Faribault is going to punch it out of danger, or at least try to, and get it ahead. Nice little back pass there on the far sideline. The ball's going to go out of bounds. Picked up by the Falcon coach. Albert Lee will bring it in, kick it in. Faribault trying to gain control again as kicking it forward is Maddie Kramer, the sophomore. Ball's at midfield. Croker gets it. Faribault coming up. Nice challenge there to get the ball kicked back into the Albert Lee zone. They give chase. And that is Stella Skowakheim. She's a senior. Ball gets out of bounds, and it's going to belong to the Tigers. They're going to get a kick here at midfield. Just 3 seniors on this Faribault team. As the kick goes off somebody's head, trickles all the way down to the freshman for the Faribault Falcons, goalkeeper Claire Anderson. On the near side, the ball's kicked toward midfield. Now it's on the near sideline, kicked ahead. There's a nice assist there by Hammer, or attempted assist, I should say, and the ball's going to go out of bounds and belong to Faribault. Racing down to throw the ball in is going to be Rodriguez. Rodriguez, two-hand pass comes in. It's a bouncer. Trying to gain control is Drewitz. Drewitz will get it back behind her to Voigt. Voigt kicks it all the way down and is caught by the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper for Albert Lee is Haley Wallace. She's a junior. She'll punt it to midfield. It's headed by Faribault. I think that was Voigt. Gets back into the Albert Lee zone. It's kicked ahead just about at the box. Nice block there. Albert Lee was trying to kick it up the field. It was blocked. Goes into the far corner to the right of the goalkeeper. And it's passed behind as Faribault coming up. And we're going to have a penalty here as the Falcon, Maddie Kramer, was trying to dribble it upfield and got tripped. So the kick here is going to be taken by Voigt again. Voigt from way out is going to kick it way over the net. Well, she does have a powerful leg, though, I will say that. Faribault Falcon football team might want to have her come out. They don't kick anything, not even extra points. And that can be costly in a real close game. 31 minutes exactly to go in this first half. The goalkeeper for Albert Lee is going to punt it out, or actually kick it out. It's knocked down by Faribault. Just like Tuesday night when we were here for the boys, Faribault has really had more control of the ball than Albert Lee has in this half. They have a 1-0 lead, 1-0. And as I say that, Albert Lee's going to gain possession of the ball. The old broadcaster jinx. They pass it in down the field. It's way ahead of everybody, and Faribault ends up chasing him out for I think that's Voigt. Gets kicked out of bounds. No, it's kept in bounds, but now kicked ahead by Faribault. She takes a little tumble, and the ball's going to go out of bounds and belong to the Faribault Falcons. As was Tuesday, this night everybody's on the bench side of the field. Voigt's going to kick it probably from about 40 yards away from the goal. She's going to kick it down to about the 30 on the other side. They don't have lines here, of course, on the soccer field. It's kicked back toward Albert Lee goalkeeper by a Tiger, and Faribault's given chase in that corner. Nice pass toward the center of the box. And where did I just drop? As the ball is kicked out by Albert Lee and then kicked back into the Tiger box, knocked out by Faribault. They're trying to set up on, they got pretty decent spacing here, and a nice catch by the goalkeeper again. Boy, they had two people on the doorstep of a goal right there, but it didn't happen. The Falcons have a 1-0 lead. With 39-16 to go, a 1-0 lead, the Faribault Falcons. We might be a good luck charm, Troy. And then again, 29:06 to go in this first half. Thank you, sir. I dropped my phone is what I dropped. No kidding. That would have been kind of expensive. Kick from midfield. Voigt's been kicking them all. It's going to be a one-hopper. The goalkeeper's going to easily snag. She punts it out. Goes to about midfield. Knocked down Voigt. Kicked ahead by Bertram, I think. It's the only thing I'd change is the size of the numbers on these uniforms, as the ball is going to go near out of bounds, and now it is out of bounds, and it belongs to Faribault. As Hammer was hammering it. There's a kick toward the center of the field by Bertram. Albert Lee trying to gain control, kicks it out of bounds again. Good quick, Rodriguez gets it and says, "By 40." And she does the two-hand toss in, and then it's kicked right back to her, and they try to kick it forward toward the box. Albert Lee trying to get it out of there. It's knocked down by the Tiger, and now it's going to go out of bounds. Does it go off Faribault? No, it goes off Albert Lee. Nice big numbers on the back of their uniform. That was Evelyn Ravenhorst, Jr. Falcons get it all the way down toward the box, just to the left of the goalkeeper. And then it's kicked forward, and Bertram couldn't get it on her foot. It's picked up, coming back into the Albert Lee zone with the ball that time was Voigt. It's kicked ahead. It's toward the box. Now it's to the right of the goalkeeper of Albert Lee. It's kicked by Albert Lee down the field and on the far sideline. They're giving chase. They're running. They're continuing to chase. Faribault Falcon trailing. Faribault Falcon had a pretty good angle on it, and it's kicked toward the goal, and a nice job of sliding on her knees by Claire Anderson, the sophomore goalkeeper, to grab that ball. She'll go to the top of the box and roll it to her teammate, Rodriguez, on the near side. She'll kick it to about midfield. It's knocked down on the near sideline. Kicked ahead that time by Drewitz. Ball goes out of bounds. Faribault will inbound it. It'll be Drewitz to inbound. Nope, it's not going to be Drewitz. It's Rodriguez. That must be her specialty. She'll inbound it from the near sideline, nearly right in front of us here at the ball soccer field. Substitutions are being made here. Albert Lee's making a couple of them. We got a new Falcon in. As soon as I see her number, I'll tell you who it is. It is Emma Erelou. Hope I said that right. Erelou. If I didn't, I apologize in advance. The coach did write down the pronunciations, but people write phonetically differently. You know what I mean? Kick comes ahead by Faribault, back into the box. They're giving chase, and it's going to go all the way out of bounds. That was Bertram. So we are going to get a corner kick from the right of the goalkeeper. So they got one person to her right, one person to her left, one person in front of her to help her with this. And a big thank you to Evan Knutson, Weichert Realtor Faribault, Federated Mutual Insurance Owatonna, Gopher Hills Golf Course for making our broadcast possible. Here's the corner kick. And, well, it was outside the box, and it goes up to the field. And Albert Lee's going to give chase. Good job by Faribault to cut her off. It gets knocked out of bounds off of the Falcons. Well, maybe not. The Albert Lee Tiger that was giving chase was Haley Austinson. She's a freshman. Inbounding the ball is going to be Morgan Goskison, a sophomore. Comes to midfield. Kick back toward the Albert Lee zone by the Faribault Falcons. Tigers give chase. Kicking it is Stella Skogheim. Up the far side, Faribault had it for an instant. Now Albert Lee, now Faribault will kick it back left to right on your radio dial. It's knocked down by the Albert Lee Tigers. Maddie Kramer, a sophomore. Pass to her right, again on that far sideline, which I'd like to hug. And it's knocked down by Faribault. And a shot, there's another shot. Oh, it's going to go off the goalkeeper and in the goal for Albert Lee. We're tied at 1, 24-16 to go. Oh, my. 24-16 to go. A goal for Albert Lee. Ties it at 1. I didn't see who got that one either. On the far side. Just like the cartoon.
Scoring for the Tigers, Aaliyah Heidemann.
Heidemann scored.
Number 5. Previously, scoring for the Falcons, number 6, Maddie Kramer.
All right, we got the goal for Faribault too. Thank you, Mr. Weber. Kick comes ahead. It's knocked out by Faribault. Back into the Albert Lee zone, so we're all knotted at 1 apiece with 23:58 to go. Well, that just went off the fingertips of Claire Anderson, the sophomore goalkeeper. Nice tall goalkeeper for the Faribault Falcons. Albert Lee's goalkeeper is not tall, and she slides, comes out of her net, gets that ball, but it looks kind of dangerous to me. Claire Anderson, the sophomore, comes out of her goal and slides to get the ball. Boy, if you miss it, overrun it or something, it's easy pickings. Here's the punt. But what do I know? It's knocked down by Albert Lee. Between a couple of Falcons is the Tiger. She'll try to dribble it up the field and gets it ahead. Trying to gain possession. Nifty little move there to get around the Falcon was Albert Lee's. Getting harder to see now here. Haley Austinson. There was an Austinson, was a head football coach of Byron. I wonder if that might be a relation. Kick ahead. Of course, the Falcons play at Byron. I think it's on Thursday, October the 10th, if I remember right. Tomorrow we'll be in Austin as the Falcons take on the Austin Packers. On Power 96 Radio, 95.9 on your FM dial. We're here at the girls' soccer, and kind of bobbling at that time was Anderson. She was able to recover and not allow the goal. She's going to roll it ahead to her teammate. Rolls it right in front of her. There's a nice pass to midfield. Gaining control, then a pass back to the person who passed it to her, and that is Drewitz. Up the middle of the field is the ball. It gets back into the Albert Lee box, and it's going to be knocked near the near sideline. They save it from going out of bounds. Kick it ahead toward midfield. Good job boxing out that time by Faribault's Corbel to get the ball. Now it's kicked ahead by Albert Lee. The Falcons given chase on the near sideline. They got control of the ball, dribbling it ahead, and just kicking it out of bounds was Bertram. I think she had a feeling that she wasn't able to get it to her teammate. Might as well just kick it out of bounds. So, inbounding it for Albert Lee is going to be Morgan Goskison, the sophomore. Big 20 on the back of her uniform. The pass is going to come in, and it's taken by Faribault. They'll kick it ahead. There's a header. Falcon knocks it down with her knee. Now it's hit toward midfield. Now a little back pass. And going ahead is the Tiger. She'll kick it ahead. It goes off the legs of one of the Falcons. There's a centering pass that's knocked away by Faribault and up the field. Faribault trying to gain control, and they do for the moment have control. Bertram has it. She gets it taken away, and then it's knocked out of bounds by the Albert Lee Tigers, and she looked a little frustrated that time. Morgan Goskison. So inbounding it for Faribault is going to be Emma Eralu. No, it's going to be Bertram. They switched them on me. Bertram, two-hand pass in toward midfield. It goes off the head of one of the Tigers and out of bounds. So they'll inbound it from that location, which is just on the other side of the midfield. Bertram will pass it in again. This time she goes toward the midfield area. It's kicked toward the side. Pass came into Savannah Schwartz. Midfield ending up with the ball is Albert Lee. Kicking it ahead is Austinson. Gets into the box. It's easily gathered by the goalkeeper Anderson. She'll throw it out. Claire to the far sideline again. And the Albert Lee Tigers will try to gain possession. They do. They dribble around a couple of Falcons. There's a kick, and it's wide of the goal. Getting low fives from her teammates is a young lady who tried to get a goal, and that was Alaya Heidemann. So Faribault will kick it. It won't be the goalkeeper. It'll be one of her teammates. I think this is Voigt. And I know why they have her kick a lot. She got a good leg. Very powerful leg. He's going to bang it out there toward up the field. It's knocked down. Faribault gains control. Little side hit of the ball. It's going to go out of bounds off Albert Lee, and Rodriguez will inbound it again. She'll pass it in, but it goes to a Tiger. Tiger trying to get it on her foot. Another Tiger does get it on her foot, kicks it ahead. Out chasing the Tiger for the ball that time for Faribault was Voigt, I do believe. Rodriguez is going to inbound it. Nope, they're going to trade places. She'll throw it ahead. It goes off of the Faribault Falcon. The pass came on the near side, and I mean really near side, to Eralu. Pass comes in by Albert Lee. It's knocked down by Faribault. It's kicked ahead by Albert Lee. Now punched in the air by Albert Lee. On the near side is the ball. Tigers kick with the left foot toward the middle of the field. It gets punched up in the air by Faribault, knocked down. Trying to gain control of it for the Falcons was Drewitz. It's kicked ahead to the near sideline and kicked out of bounds by Albert Lee. They didn't want him to get any kind of a breakaway there, so they just kicked it out of bounds. In the neighborhood was Eragdu. I'm sorry, the G is silent. It's Eralu. Bill Rodriguez passes it in, gets it back. The ball's kicked out of bounds. Was it off of the Tiger? I think it was. So Rodriguez will throw it in again. She'll do the two-hand pass in. Knocked down off the legs. Back to Rodriguez. She'll kick it ahead. And the Albert Lee Tiger takes it right off the foot of Faribault's hammer. Oh, there's a steal by Faribault. Nice job there by Arlana Garcia, a senior. Ball's knocked off the arms of one of the Falcons and out of bounds on a kick by Albert Lee. So it'll be Albert Lee's ball. No, it's going to be Faribault's ball, they say. Wow. Well, it was on the far side. Maybe I didn't see it right. Both the boys and the girls love to hug the far sideline. Ball's kicked. Middle of the field. Kicked by Albert Lee. It's just outside the Albert Lee box. Now it's going to be toward midfield, and the Albert Lee Tigers will get a chance to set up an offensive set here. And they'll kick it from about 10 yards away from the midfield circle, right to left on your radio dial. She punches a line drive. It's knocked down off the leg of the Tiger, and then Faribault ends up with it. The Falcons kick it to the near sideline. Chasing it down is Albert Lee. Kicking it out of bounds is Albert Lee. So the Falcons will inbound it. Rodriguez says, I get to throw it in again. I wonder if she has to put her arms in ice. All the throw-ins. She looks to throw it in here. And the pass is made. And the kick toward midfield is knocked down by Albert Lee, and she falls. Kind of tripped on the ball herself, did the Albert Lee Tiger. That was London Berglund, a senior. Ball's kicked to midfield, and Faribault Falcon literally did a somersault. She's still on the ground. I just saw her running after the ball. Officials checking on her. Coach is going to go check on her. So we've got a bit of an injury timeout here. 15-13 to go first half. Faribault got the first goal. Albert Lee got the second goal. And we sit with a 1-1 tie. You're listening to Big Nine Conference Girls Soccer, Faribault Falcon style, on the mighty 920 KDHL.
Looking for a dedicated real estate expert in Faribault or the surrounding areas? Meet Evan Knutson from Weikert Realty. Evan brings local knowledge, personalized service, and a commitment to helping you find the perfect home. Whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring, Evan's expertise and passion make the process smooth and stress-free. Don't just find a house, find a home with Evan Knutson at Weikert Realty. Visit Weikert.com or call 507-210-9140 and take the first step towards your dream home.
Good news, folks. Olivia Strieflin was the person down. She went off under her own power. Didn't look like she was any worse for the wear. And here comes a pass in by Albert Lee. Right into a Falcon, and it'll be off of her out of bounds. Tigers will gain some field position on that. And they will pass it in again. Falcon giving chase in front of the Tigers is going to kick it out of bounds. So Albert Lee's going to get a corner kick here. Faribault has people on either side of Anderson. Doing the kick for the Tigers is going to be Berglund. She'll kick it toward the box. Knocked down. 3 Falcons are there. Pops up in the air. Comes out of the box. Albert Lee, nifty move to get around the Falcon. Pass ahead at the edge of the box. Now there's a kick toward the center of the field in the box. Knocked down by the Tigers, knocked down by Faribault. There's about 6 pairs of legs there. And here comes Albert Lee. Nice knockdown again by Faribault, trying to punch it out. Knocking it off her shoulder that time was a Falcon. It's kicked toward the goal, and it is wide. Yeah, I would think there was a little bit of anxious moments there for the goalkeeper, Anderson, but she looked as cool as the other side of the pillow. 13 minutes and 40 seconds to go. And here's the kick. knocking it down, and there's a header, and passing it ahead is Albert Lee. Faribault knocks it down. It's going to go back toward Anderson, the goalkeeper, the sophomore for Faribault. Going to run out of the goal, run to the far side, and she'll punt it ahead to midfield. Going to take a high bounce, knock down off the head of one of the Tigers. The Falcons have it. Trying to go forward for Faribault is Voigt. And Albert Lee gaining possession. Left kick, knocked down by Faribault. And it's kicked beyond midfield. No Falcon was back there. Closest person near it was Aubrey Paul. She's a sophomore midfielder. Faribault will gain possession. The ball was kicked out of bounds. At about midfield, just the other side of midfield in the Albert Lee zone. Faribault will inbound it, again on the far side. Pass comes in, it's knocked down. Albert Lee will kick it out toward midfield. And true error. Falcon thought she was going to knock it down, I think, and it went whizzing right by her. It's going to go out of bounds, and it's going to belong to Albert Lee. About 25 yards out, I'm guessing. No yard lines are here. Pass comes in, one hopper. Kick goes back to the passer. It's knocked up in the air as Faribault deflects it. And it's kicked ahead. Falcon giving chase at midfield. Tries to get it to the near side. It's kicked by Albert Lee. Knocked down by Faribault. Kicked by Faribault to try to get out of the danger. Kicked ahead. Albert Lee ends up with it. That was Stella Skogheim. Going to go out of bounds, and the pass comes in. Albert Lee is going to knock it. Well, they said Faribault gets the ball. So Faribault will inbound it. In by the light pole. And the Falcon end. We have 11:19 to go in the first half. 1-1 is our score. Faribault scored at the 34, I can't read my 36 mark, I think. And it was 24-16 for Albert Lee. My pen is light because I've been fingering my paper all over, and then you know what happens when that happens. Get the fingerprints that don't allow your pen to work. On the near side, Albert Lee gets it to the sideline. Faribault, nice job gaining control of it that time by the Falcons. As soon as I see her number, I'll tell you who it was. It was Bella Hammer. Hammer's going to pass it behind her. Albert Lee punches it forward and missing the foot of the Tiger. Here comes Faribault on the near side, saving it from going out of bounds. Nice job that time by Paul. It was deflected by Albert Lee. Now it comes back to midfield and is kicked ahead by the Tigers, but out of bounds. So Faribault will gain possession. Falcons will inbound it. In the Faribault zone, the pass comes in. It's knocked down. There's a push from behind. So Faribault will get the ball here. That was pretty obvious. Pass comes in from the near sideline. It's rolled. Well, no, they're going to have a kick here. Voigt's going to kick it. From about 45 yards away. Bam is the kick. It's going to bounce toward midfield. It's knocked down by Albert Lee. Faribault ends up with it in midfield. Nice pass over to Hammer. Hammer's going to try and pooch it ahead. It's knocked down off the left foot of the Albert Lee Tiger. Faribault giving chase.
A news update from KDHL.
Giving some chase that time for the Faribault Falcons. Was Morello. We're approaching 9 minutes to go in the half. Albert Lee's going to kick it back. Well, now they're saying it's going to be a Faribault ball. A kick from just beyond midfield. See if they can set something up here. We're tied at 1 apiece. Boyd bangs it. Knocked down by Albert Lee. It's going to go out of bounds on the near side. Rodriguez is She didn't want to pick up the ball that just rolled out of bounds. She wanted a different one. And the ball boy said, no, there's one right there. So she's going to inbound the ball. I love it. Rodriguez passes it in. It's knocked down. Hammer has it knocked off her foot. The Tigers on the near side. Rodriguez deflects it. Now it's punched toward midfield. Back to Rodriguez. Goes back closer to midfield where Moredu has it. Ball comes closer to the Albert Lee box, and it's knocked out by Albert Lee toward midfield. Faribault Falcons trying to gain control. Pass it ahead. Falcon kicks it deeper into the Albert Lee zone. Kick is at midfield. It's kicked up in the air by the Albert Lee Tigers. There's a header by Faribault. Nice job that time by the Falcons. Olivia Streefland, it's good to see her back, the sophomore. Remember, she was down earlier and did leave under her own power. There's a kick ahead, a couple bouncer that's easy for Anderson to snare. As we're approaching 7 minutes to go in this first half. Anderson will punt it toward midfield. Albert Lee tries to knock it down. It's kicked ahead. Faribault ends up with it. Ending up with it for the Falcons was Drewitz. Comes back deeper into the Falcon zone. Off an Albert Lee foot. Kicked ahead. Now kicked ahead by Faribault. It's continuing as Drewitz keeps getting knocked back. Faribault trying to gain control and get it back into the Albert Lee zone. Gets knocked down again off a Voigt hit. Albert Lee will get it past midfield on the far side. Faribault will gain control on the far side. There's a left-footed kick ahead. Faribault has someone racing down into the Albert Lee box, but it's going to go out of bounds to the right of the goal. As the goalkeeper looks at it, to the left of the goal as we look at it. We're tied at 1 apiece with 6 minutes to go in the first half. Now a corner kick here. And it comes outside the box. Knocked down by Albert Lee back into the box. They kick it out of the box. And then it's kicked toward midfield as they do the old kick and run to the Albert Lee Tigers. Speedy team, you could do that. The Faribault Falcons end up getting control as they outrun the Tigers that time. It's going to be Falcon ball out of bounds. As we have 5 minutes and 12 seconds to go, both teams are going to make some substitutions here. Checking in for Faribault is going to be Ariana Garcia, the senior midfielder. Ball comes in. Albert Lee on the far side. Kicks it down the field. And one of the Tigers got tripped up going for the ball. And they're going to get a corner kick from the left of Anderson. Putting it down, getting ready to kick it is Berglund, and it's kicked over all the bodies. Goes back to the other side out of bounds. It'll be Faribault's ball. The Falcons roll it into the box. Anderson's going to let her teammate kick it out of there. And this is Fiona Voigt. She's only a freshman. A powerful leg. It gets it to midfield. It's going to roll back into the Falcon zone. Kick back and out of bounds by Albert Lee. Faribault will set something up here at midfield as Rodriguez will pass it in. It's knocked down. About 6 pairs of legs. Rodriguez, right as it hugged the sideline, kicks it ahead, knocking it down the Tiger. She'll pass it, and it's intercepted by Faribault. Then kicked toward midfield. Faribault ends up with it. Good angle on that ball. There's a kick ahead by the Albert Lee Tigers, knocked down by Faribault. Albert Lee then gets a steal on the turnover. Here come the Tigers, right to left on your radio dial. They're kicking ahead. Coming out of the net is Anderson. It's kicked to her left and then kicked out of bounds by Faribault. And it almost looked like danger there. Falcons able to... oh my. There was a collision between an Albert Lee Tiger and the goalminder Anderson. Gee, many crickets. They clunked heads. She's okay. They're both okay. I don't think I would be. Near side, there's a kick toward middle of the field. It's going to go in the middle of the box, and it's just kicked out of danger by Faribault. Smart play by the Falcons. They're going to inbound it. Albert Lee, and now tussling for the ball is a Falcon and a Tiger. It's going to go to the mid portion of the field. We got 2:25 to go in the half, tied at 1 apiece. Faribault scored first, and it wasn't too much longer, and Albert Lee scored to tie the game. The ball's going to go out of bounds and belong to Faribault. On the far side again. Pass comes in. It's knocked down off the leg of one of the Falcons. Tries to knock it down again off her leg. She'll kick it toward midfield, but no Falcon was there. Albert Lee is going to kick it ahead. It's kicked back into the Albert Lee zone by the Falcons. Albert Lee will kick it up the field on the far side. And she's given chase. And I think she's going to kick it out of bounds. Yes, she is. So Faribault will inbound it again on the far side. They pass it in. The Tigers, nice job punching it off the foot of the Tiger was Drewitz. On the far side is the ball. Albert Lee kicking it ahead. Faribault ends up with it. They also will kick it forward. It's knocked down by the Albert Lee Tigers. Coming out of there with it was Morgan Goskeson, the sophomore. Comes out of bounds. Will belong to the Tigers. Goskeson says, give me a ball, give me a ball. Ball girl gives her a ball. Pass goes ahead, and it's too far in front of the Tigers, so the Falcon ends up with it on the near sideline. She does a nice job of boxing out the Albert Lee Tigers so she can't get to the ball. Maggie Olson, the sophomore, is the Tiger. Ball's on the near side again. Going toward the middle of the field. It's kicked toward the goal. Anderson comes out of the goal. She'll run to her left. And she punt it? She's directing traffic out there, and she is going to punt it. And she punts it out of bounds. So Albert Lee has it. Well, I'd say this last few minutes has been probably a little bit more in the Albert Lee zone. And that's the end of the first half, ladies and gentlemen. Faribault Falcons won. The Albert Lee Tigers won. Wish I had a time of possession. I need two different stopwatches. When Faribault's going, and then when Albert Lee's going, but you know how many times they change possession? Oh, my word. I'd be going all the time trying to keep that time of possession, if you know what I'm saying. I've been doing that all the time. It is halftime. The Faribault Falcons scored. Scoring for the Faribault Falcons was Maddie Kramer, a sophomore. She scored with the 34-36 mark. And at 24-16, right? A little more than 10 minutes later, Albert Lee got a goal. And the Albert Lee Tiger that scored was Aliyah Heidemann. She's a sophomore. Those are the only two goals we've had. And if I were a betting man, and I'm not, I'd say that Albert Lee had more shots on the goal than the Faribault Falcons did in the first half. But again, I am not a betting man. Big thank you to all of our great sponsors for making our broadcast possible. If you enjoyed this, please let them know, and then we can do more of this, right?
Since the turn of the century, Federated Mutual Insurance Company and many of our employees have called Owatonna home. We work hand in hand with our neighbors through giving, volunteering, and focusing on community initiatives. We invest in this community because we love to see opportunities and advancements, such as the new high school and the downtown developments. We enjoy seeing the citizens of our great community continue to grow and thrive. And above all, we are proud to be part of Owatonna's rich history and all that Owatonna has to offer.
Well, I'm looking at the Big Nine website, and the girls' soccer standings have zeros all the way across. Not just in the conference, but in the overall records. There's not a single thing on the Big Nine Conference website. This is the Big Nine Conference website. It says 2024 standings. 2024 standings, nothing. All zeros. No wins, no losses, no ties for any Big Nine Conference schools in the league. No wins, no losses, no ties for overall records. You would think this would be the official place to go for the standings, right? The Big Nine Conference website. But no can do. No can do. As I said before our broadcast, Faribault came into this with 2 wins, 4 losses, 2 ties. According to the coach, according to Min-Dash scores, Faribault has a 2-5 record. They must not keep ties. Faribault got their 6th tie of the year, or draw, earlier this week when they tied with their opponents. Yep, not a single thing here on the Big Nine website for girls soccer. Let's see if they got anything for boys soccer. Nope. Zeros all the way across in the 2024 standings. Zeros all the way across in the overall records as well for the boys as well. We'll take a look at volleyball. Northfield appears to be running away with that conference.
Hi, my name is Maddie, and I want to...
They do have the volleyball conference mark.
I would like to recognize my job.
Mankato West is 5-0. Northfield's 2-0. Austin's 2-0. Century's 2-0. Mankato East is 2-2. Owatonna 1-1. Mayos 1-2. Red Wing 1-3. John Marshall's 0-1. Albert Lee 0-2. Faribault 0-2. Winona is 0-3 according to this. Well, it's obviously not updated because Faribault lost just the other night to Winona in a 5-set thriller. So Winona does have a win and Faribault does not, according to what I know.
Hi, my name is Bella, and I'm on the 6th one.
So, in today's world of computers, you should be able to update this. Every night they have games, right? Every night they have games. You just update the standings. It's not all that difficult. If they win, you put a win in the win column. If they lose, you put a loss in the loss column. It's not all that difficult. Again, that's the Big Nine Conference Minnesota Scores, not the Big Nine Conference website, but the Minnesota Scores. In girls soccer, is this girls soccer? As Winona 7-1 in the conference. Winona 6-1. West is 6-2. 5-2 is East. Century's 4-2. Mayos 5-3. 4-3 is Northfield. JM is 3-4. Albert Lee is 2-6. Faribault is 1-5. This is in league play now, mind you. 0-7 is Red Wing. 0-7 is Austin. So 3-8 are the Tigers, and 2-5-2 are the Falcons. I'm assuming the coach knows when they have ties or not. But they don't keep ties on this, obviously, which I don't know why not. But they don't on the Min-Dash scores. And, of course, I just told you there's nothing but zeros on the Big Nine Conference website. Why do you have a website and not put stuff on it? Do you want people to go to your website or do you not want people to go to your website?
Right.
I mean, it just boggles the mind. If you don't want to do it, have some kids do it. Have a class. That be their project to update the website on a periodical basis. Like I said, you only have a couple of matches a week. You should be able to keep up with that. Oh, well. I'll get off my soapbox. Faribault Falcons 1, Albert Lee Tigers 1. Girls soccer, an absolutely beautiful night here at Ball Field. There's no wind. I mean none. That flag is straight down on the flagpole here behind the scoreboard, looking off toward the south, where the radio towers are, the KDHL radio towers. I can actually see them blinking from where I'm sitting. Again, a big thank you to Faribault Rental. We are elevated so we can actually see. You're getting great pictures. That's a good thing, too, because, you know, the description is probably not as good as the pictures, of course. So, anyway, this will be on FCTV, I'm sure, over the next few weeks, probably multiple times if you're interested in taking a look and seeing what I'm talking about, being elevated so we can see a bit. Now, I'm not sure if I'm guessing that Troy's able to zoom in on the far side when the ball's on the far side. I can't so much with my binoculars. But we try the best we can. But again, a big thank you to Faribault Rental for letting us use this hydraulic scissor lift. And you can rent this to do paint jobs or clean your windows. Don't have to get up on a ladder, get those leaves out of your gutters, although quite frankly I got one of those gutter guard things. It's the thing to have as a gutter guard, believe me. Don't have to climb up on a ladder at all. It's awesome. As Troy's taking pictures, I'm going to break his camera. I'm not a very photogenic guy. So a big thank you again to Weichert Realtors, Gopher Hills Golf Course, Federated Mutual Insurance for bringing our broadcast here from Ball Field in Faribault, on Faribault's south side. See the tennis courts across the way, or is that the parking lot that's all lit up? I know I used to play tennis over there at the middle school, but that's been a number of years ago. As the Falcons and the Tigers, Falcons are by a light pole to my left, and the Tigers are doing handstands to my right. I'm not exaggerating either. Handstands. I wish I could do that. Now, why did that happen?
Dreaming of the perfect home in Faribault? Look no further than Evan Knutson Homes, your local Weichert Realty expert. Evan Knutson knows the community inside and out, helping families just like yours find the home that fits their needs and budget. Whether you're buying your first home or looking to upgrade, Evan is here to guide you every step of the way. Trust experience, trust commitment, trust Evan Knutson Homes, Weichert Realty in Faribault. Call 507-210-9140 today and start your journey home.
There's still plenty of season left, and the place to grab around is at the Gopher Hills Golf Course in Cannon Falls. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned pro, there are plenty of challenges and amenities waiting for you. Gopher Hills Golf Course is actually 3 courses, including the family-friendly Executive 9. Each offers tree-lined fairways, sculpted bunkers, and tons of fun. And their beautiful clubhouse makes a great venue for your next event. Book tee times today, 507-263-2507, or go online at gopherhills.com.
Yeah. Fall golf, it's a lot of fun. Usually you don't have to deal too much with bugs. It's usually not super hot. I kind of enjoy fall golf. I did not see the final on the JV match. Should be ashamed of myself, but I didn't. The Faribault Falcons and the Albert Lee Tigers had a JV match before the varsity got underway. As we're just under a minute to go before the second half gets underway, all knotted up at 1 apiece. Albert Lee trying to pick up their 3rd conference win. Faribault trying to pick up their 1st conference win of the season, if those standings are correct on the MN-Scores website. We'd love to give you the Big 9 Conference website, but there's nothing on the Big 9 Conference website. Not for girls soccer, not for boys soccer. We want to wish the girls tennis team the best of luck. The Big 9 Conference girls tennis tournament is this weekend, Saturday, over in Rochester. Coach Anderson's done a nice job bringing out some ladies a few times on our what used to be touted the Faribault Coaches Show is now our Faribault Spotlight on Youth. I like that name better because it better describes what we're trying to do. We want to get kids involved in anything. I don't care if it's a chess club or if it's knowledge bowl or if it's math or whatever. Math team, robotics. We'd love to have them all come out and talk about that at Jana's Market Grill in downtown Faribault, right across from the historic Burkhardt-Meyer shoe store. So Albert Lee will get the kickoff here in the second half. Putting the ball down is London Berglund, a senior. And the name is like the London. It's London. London. The kick comes in. Albert Lee going left to right. Falcons right to left on your radio dial. Again, we're tied at 1 apiece as the second half just got underway. Bang back into the Falcon zone deeper. Faribault trying to get it out of there. And Croker will kick it ahead and it's gathered up by Anderson. She'll run to her right. And she'll roll it ahead to her teammate, who will kick it up the far sideline. And try to get it to her teammate. And it's going to be knocked out of bounds. It'll belong to Albert Lee. So Albert Lee will pass it in. Had a little more control of the ball, it appeared to me, in the second portion of that first half. Faribault dominated the first portion. We'll see if the Falcons can gain more control of the ball as they're sitting in their box. They're going to kick it out. This is Voigt, who kicks it ahead. It's knocked down by a Tiger. Faribault Falcon cuts in front. Now it's kicked back toward the Faribault goal. It's going to be kicked down the field. Remember, I told you the coach for Faribault is not a big kick and run type of person. Albert Lee Tigers are going to pass it in. It's knocked down by the Faribault Falcons. As coming out of there with it was Voigt at midfield. We got two Voights on here. I got to keep my Voight straight. 12 is Fiona. Annie Voigt is number 13, by the way. Fiona's a freshman and Annie's a sophomore. Ball's on the far side, and it's to the right of Anderson, and Albert Lee trying to gain a score here and take the lead. It's in the far corner. Now Faribault will inbound it. Nearly the complete other end of the field. Ball's kicked up in the air and takes a bounce. Knocked down by Faribault, kicked ahead, but there's nobody to really kick it to. And it's going to belong to Albert Lee. So Albert Lee will pass the ball in. It's a hitter by Faribault. Knocked down by Albert Lee. Faribault gets it on her foot. Kicks it ahead to the far side. And then it's kicked back toward midfield. Knocked down by the Falcon. Falcons at midfield. It's deflected by Albert Lee out of bounds. Rodriguez throwing it in again. Have to put her arms on ice. Pass comes in from Albert Lee here. As the Faribault Falcons and the Albert Lee Tigers tussling here at Ball Soccer Field. It's 1-1, ladies and gentlemen, 1-1. Got a good one brewing. Nobody's really got control of the ball at the moment. They're kind of kicking it back and forth, and now we've got the Faribault Falcons will gain control here. See if they can set something up. At about midfield.
You got a yellow card.
As it's going to be Fiona Voigt. And the Tigers got yellow carded. Voigt has kind of attempted to kick it toward the goal from way deep. waiting for the go-ahead. The official will give her the go-ahead here. 36:40 to go in this second half. We're tied at 1 apiece. Voigt, the freshman, bangs it ahead, goes into the box. Nope, it's going to go to the, into the box, but it was left of the goal where the goalkeeper is. It's right of the goal from where we're watching. So the goalkeeper for the Albert Lee Tigers, Haley Wallace, a junior, will boot it out. It goes off the far sideline, and Falcon tries to bang it back toward the goal, but now comes back Albert Lee chasing it on the far sideline. It's going to go out of bounds, belong to Faribault. Pass comes in, and it's going to belong to Albert Lee. The Tigers will pass it in. Knocked down by a Falcon and the Tiger. Faribault trying to gain control. Kick to midfield. It's kicked ahead at the center circle. They kick to the left. I don't think she saw the ball. It's going to come to the near sideline. Going to be kicked out of bounds. It'll belong to Faribault. Young lady says, give me the ball. Give me the ball. That's Corbel. Corbel will pass it in. It's knocked down. Pass toward midfield. And then kicked ahead by Paul. Aubrey Paul, sophomore. That was a pretty song. I don't know if you remember Brett. I'm showing my age now. In the early 70s, Brett had a song called Aubrey. It was an awesome song. We had another yellow card, this time on a Falcon. So it's getting a little physical here. That was an Olivia Newton-John song. 35 minutes and 7 seconds to go. We're tied at 1 apiece. Albert Lee will kick it from the far side. This is Aliyah Heidemann, the sophomore. She'll just bang it toward where she thinks there are some Tigers. Got knocked down by the Tigers. It's kicked toward the right of goalkeeper Claire Anderson. Anderson keeping tabs on that ball. It gets knocked out of bounds. It'll belong to Albert Lee. They'll pass it from the corner to Anderson's right. It's a header by Faribault. Comes out. It's kicked back in toward the box, and it's going to go wide of the box, or wide of the goal, I should say. Out of bounds. Anderson will track it down. Well, that was nice of her. Roll it out to her teammate, Fiona Voigt, the freshman. Actually, it was kind of kicked to her by Anderson. Now, there's a turnover by Faribault. Almost ended up in danger, but good recovery that time by the Falcons to get back to it. As the Albert Lee Tigers looking to head toward that goal, and Faribault with the ball in the Falcon box trying to get it out. The near sideline, there's a chase. The Tiger and the Falcon. Falcon ends up getting somewhat tripped. And that was Annie Voigt. Pass comes in from Croker for Albert Lee. She'll pass it ahead, knocked down. Back to Croker. She'll kick it toward the goal. It's gathered up by Anderson. Flying in was an Albert Lee Tiger. Ended up on her derriere. Anderson was going to punt it out. Comes toward midfield. There's a header. The Falcon going to pass it ahead. With the header that time was Drawitz. It's kicked ahead, punched by Albert Lee. Back to midfield. Knocking it down the Falcons as Annie Voigt had it. Annie Voigt gathering herself up again, and she's limping. Giving chase and out chasing for the ball that time was Fiona Voigt. Ball's kicked ahead by the Albert Lee Tigers. We have a 1-1 game with 32 minutes and 40 seconds roughly to go in this match. Near side pass by Faribault goes out of bounds. Tried to get the ball to Annie Voigt. He's still got a little bit of a limp here. As the Tigers, Croker will inbound it. Two-hand pass comes in. It's knocked down off the legs and out of bounds. So now Faribault will inbound it. It'll be Voigt, Fiona. Going to have some substitutions here. Checking out is Annie Voigt. Might have seen her. She looks like she's in fine now. She was limping a little earlier, but I don't see much of a limp now. Pass came in to the young lady who came in for her, and that is Emma Eralu. The kick, Albert Lee, and they have really controlled it in the Falcon zone here. Is a kick into the box, knocked down by Faribault. You can't score if you don't get near the goal that you're shooting at. Albert Lee Tigers at midfield. Going to try and pass. Nice knockdown there by Faribault. Here come the Falcons. Dribbling it ahead. The pass is ahead. And Albert Lee is going to end up with it and kick it out of bounds and not allow Faribault to set anything up, or at least they think that's the case. Passing it in is going to be Miralu. As Faribault makes another substitution here, is coming into the game is Olivia Streiflin, the sophomore. Pass comes in, it's knocked down. Garcia had it for an instant. Ball's at midfield. Albert Lee. Pass ahead to the near side. It's going to go out of bounds. Faribault Falcons, Streiflin will chase it down on the near side. Streiflin will pass it in to her teammate, who knocks it down. It's kicked away by Albert Lee. Voigt lost the ball for an instant, got it back, and then lost it again, and now it's going to be kicked ahead on the field, and the Faribault Falcons are going to see Albert Lee get control of the ball here. They're going to have a kick. From the near side will the Albert Lee Tigers. Falcons and the Tigers all lined up at the top of the box. Albert Lee left to right on your radio dial. There's the kick. Knocked down by Albert Lee. And then it's going to go out of bounds. Going to belong to Faribault. 29 minutes and 30 seconds roughly to go in this game. Faribault has not had many opportunities to score yet this half. Voigt will kick it out. And she kicks it toward midfield. Can't get it on her foot. It just came by too fast. It's going to be kicked out of bounds by Albert Lee. We'll try to get a bit of a breakaway there. And passing the ball in is going to be a Rolu. Knockdown. Heraldo on the near side. Pass it in again. Knocked down off the leg of the Falcon. Tries to pass it back to Heraldo. And that was Schwartz. Ball's kicked to midfield. And the Albert Lee Tigers motoring down the field, left to right on your radio dial. Purple Falcons gaining control of it, or trying to anyway. On the far sideline, over by the sideline. Albert Lee picks it up, rolls it in. They're now all the way to the other end of the field. Going toward the Faribault net. And we're going to have another kick in. Well, actually, the goalkeeper is going to have the ball and roll it to her teammate for Faribault. And I might have to see the chiropractor. My neck is pretty much permanently turned to the right here this half. Albert Lee has really controlled the action. It's still 1-1, though. As the kick. No, unfortunately, couldn't get it on her head. That ball was out of bounds, wasn't it? Yes, it was. It belongs to Albert Lee. Unable to save it that time was Schwartz. Pass comes in. Faribault had it for an instant. Broker has it. Stolen away by Striefland. Kicks it ahead. Comes back from Albert Lee. Gaining control that time was Rodriguez. Or no, I'm sorry, it wasn't Rodriguez. It was Maddie Kramer. One was 6 and the other was 8. Kick from the far sideline. Faribault trying to see if they can't put a little pressure on this goalkeeper for Albert Lee. She's been out there, could roast marshmallows. I don't know if they'd actually allow that to happen, but Albert Lee Tigers, Faribault Falcons, girls soccer here at Ball Field. Here on the mighty 920 KDHL, a Town Square media station. Tomorrow night on this airwaves will be BA's homecoming football game. They are hosting the Goodhue Wildcats. Very good Goodhue team. I'll be on Power 96 with the Faribault Falcons at the Austin Packers at Westcott Field, where they play soccer too. Voigt's got the ball at midfield. She's going to try and bang it in here. Fiona's a freshman. Probably about 35, 40 yards away. It takes one hop, and the goalkeeper says, that's my ball. And the goalkeeper is Haley Wallace, a junior. She'll punt it out. A sophomore in net for Faribault is Claire Anderson. Near sideline, the ball's knocked out of bounds by Striefland. Albert Lee grabs it right away, passes it in. Almost a steal there by Voigt. Striefland almost had it too, and it's going to go off her leg and out of bounds. Trying to gain control was London Berglund, the senior. Berglund tussling with Striefland. Striefland passes it ahead. It goes too far in front of the intended recipient, which was Araglu. And the ball's going to go back into the box, and Faribault's goalkeeper is going to run out of there with it to her right and punted toward midfield. It's going to bounce over the head of the intended Falcon. Albert Lee gains the ball and is going to kick it out of bounds. There was Adava Warrington, a sophomore, who banged it out of bounds. Faribault's making a substitution here. I didn't see who came in. The pass comes in. I saw who went out. That was Maddie Kramer. In the box was the ball for just an instant. Albert Lee gets it out in a heartbeat. Comes to me. Oh, nice steal by Striefland. Striefland on their side kicks it ahead. It gets knocked out of bounds off Albert Lee. Iralu wants to pass it in. Striefland's going to leave the game here. Rodriguez is back in for the Falcons. Ralu gets it in. Trying to get it back on her foot. It was nearly out of bounds. Albert Lee punches it out. Voigt kicks it back into the Albert Lee zone. Or excuse me, the Faribault. The Albert Lee zone. And the Albert Lee Tigers are going to have a kick from just beyond midfield. It's punched down toward the box. Anderson comes out of goal for an instant. It's kicked to the side by Faribault. It's going to go out of bounds, I think. Nope, she saved it. Tried to kick it up the field and went off a Tiger. Faribault will inbound it, kick to midfield, knocked down by Albert Lee. They'll kick it back left to right. Faribault right to left on your radio dial. Albert Lee Tigers 1, the Faribault Falcons 1. Faribault scored first about 10 minutes after they scored. Albert Lee did in the first half. The Albert Lee Tigers, 23 minutes to go, as dribbling the ball up the field and then kicking it ahead for Faribault was Drewitz. Ball's on the near side. It's to the right of the goalkeeper. It gets deflected out of bounds off Albert Lee. Rodriguez will inbound it. She'll pass it in to her teammate and then get the ball back. Her teammate, that time, was Garcia with the ball. And now Voigt will inbound it. Got knocked out of bounds. Voigt will pass it toward midfield, and it goes off the foot of the Falcon. Tigers almost had, coming out of the net is Wallace to gain the ball. So that opportunity goes by the by. 22 minutes to go in this game. She punts it toward midfield. Gets knocked down by a Tiger. Faribault is going to kick it ahead, giving chase the Falcon. It's kicked back by Albert Lee toward their goalkeeper so she can gather it, gain control, and let Albert Lee set something up here. She punts it out toward midfield. Couldn't get it on her foot, the Albert Lee Tiger. Voigt almost had it. It's kicked ahead. Giving chase is Albert Lee. Giving chase is Faribault. Oh, nice side kick to the top of the box by Albert Lee. They get it just outside the box. It's kicked wide of the goal, and she holds her head in disbelief. How did I miss that, she says. That's Albert Lee's Aliyah Heidemann, who says, how did I miss that? She scored their only other goal earlier. Clock's ticking. 21 minutes to go in this one. We're tied at 1 apiece. We called the tie earlier this week. It would be nice not to have a tie. And obviously it'd be nice because, we're doing this on KDHL radio for Falcons come out on top. And tomorrow night it's homecoming football on KDHL. Randy Sobrak will have the call. Does a great job. It'll be at Bruce Smith Field. It's homecoming for BA. And I think they just pick a date. They don't really look at who the opponent is because I think Goodhue's state ranked. I know they're really good. I think they're unbeaten. Albert Lee fans aren't real happy as one of their Tigers got bumped to the ground and she's not getting up now. Well, they're going to make a substitution here. Maybe not. I will say this metal chair is not real comfortable. Kick comes in, it gets knocked down by Albert Lee. Of course, I'm a lot bonier than I used to be. As the Albert Lee Tigers are going to gain control again. Kick it back toward the Faribault net. Long Albert Lee, there's a kick, and she missed the person that was perched right in front of the goal. Well, they have had more opportunities, no question about that. That was Evelyn Ravenhorst, a junior, who was perched right in front of the goal. But the ball sailed over her head. A lot of things sail over my head. 19 minutes to go in this one. It's 1-1. Faribault will inbound it, again on the far side. Albert Lee gains possession, kicks it toward the goal they want to score at, and it's going to go out of bounds off of Faribault. Inbounded, it came back out, and then it's kicked back left to right. And Anderson comes out of the goal. She's out of the goal. They're trying to kick it, an empty goal. Some Faribault Falcons come back to help her out. And there's all kinds of a scramble going down back there. And, boy, good job recovering by Faribault. A couple of ladies went back there to assist their goalkeeper. Man, oh, man. Claire's thanking her teammates, Streifland and company, for going back and doing double duty. They avoided the goal. That was pretty good teamwork there by Faribault. Streifland's going to bang it out. Ball in the box right to left. It's knocked down by Albert Lee and kicked off to the far sideline again. Faribault is going to try and get it forward. They're at midfield with the ball. They have not had much control of it. Ball's going to be kicked back. And Albert Lee again is giving chase. Left to right on your radio dial. Kicking toward the goal, and it's going to go behind the goal. Anderson's going to track it down, the sophomore goalkeeper for the Faribault Falcons. Going to leave it for Strieflin to kick. Well, you're just one goal away from winning this thing. Either team. 17 minutes and counting. The kick knocked down by the Albert Lee Tiger, but out of bounds. Faribault will pass it in. Voigt passes it in. The Falcons, Voigt gets it again. Kicks it ahead. And then it's kicked back for the Albert Lee goal. Well, the Falcons took quite a tumble there. The ball's kicked out of bounds. It's going to belong to Faribault. Again on the far side. Ball's passed in. It's knocked down off the leg of the Falcon. Back to the passer. Going to bounce toward midfield. Trying to gain control are both teams. Going back and forth at the moment. Now the Faribault Falcons have it in midfield. She dribbles it, passes it. It's knocked down by a Falcon. Comes back to Faribault as they battle for the ball. The Albert Lee Tigers will punch it back into the other side of the field. Strieflin ends up with it. Kicks it. Kind of a no-look kick to her left. Trying to get it to Voigt. Voigt's pointing to the goal saying, "Give me the ball." And it's going to go out of bounds. Ball girl flips it to Rodriguez. Passes it into Voigt. She does a reverse course. Has it come right off her foot by a Tiger. They kick it to the near side and kick it up the field. Faribault giving chase. Ending up with it that time was Bertram. Kicks it ahead. Almost with control of it was Hammer. But nope, went off her leg out of bounds. Here comes Albert Lee. Trying to knock it down was a Tiger. She's running down the field with Bertram. Ball's at the out of bounds line, is going to be kicked out of bounds and belong to Faribault. So Kaylee Bertram, the junior, will pass it in to Voigt. It's kicked forward by the Faribault Falcons down the field. Albert Lee will kick it back and then knock it out of bounds. Faribault will inbound it. In the Albert Lee zone, the pass comes ahead. It's at the box, kicked to the far sideline. No Tigers are over there. Faribault Falcons will give chase, but she kicked it out of bounds. Albert Lee will inbound it. Couple hopper down the far sideline. Was picked up that time by Faribault's Corbel. Ball's kicked all the way to the other side of the field by Albert Lee. There's no Tiger there. So Faribault will gain control of it. Rodriguez tries to get it to midfield. He gets intercepted. Now picking it up for Faribault is going to be Morello. And the ball's kicked out of bounds again. It's going to belong to Faribault. We're tied at 1 apiece. We're approaching 13 minutes to go in this game. It was 0-0 when we did the boys earlier this week. It's 1-1 here for the girls. Albert Lee Wallace comes out of net, easily tracked that ball. She'll wait for her teammates to get organized and then punt it out. There's a hopper knocked down by Rodriguez for Faribault. Comes to midfield. Albert Lee Tigers moving left to right. Nice pass ahead. They're to the left of goalkeeper Anderson. There's a nice pass to her left. And there's the kick, and it's going to be over the net. Taking the kick was Maggie Olson, a sophomore, to the left of Anderson. Had she been able to jump up and catch that, she would have been taller than Will Chamberlain. It was a bit over the net. And I'm showing my age when I say Chamberlain, I guess. I probably should say Yao Ming. Well, even that's even older, isn't it? So, I can't remember the Frenchman who plays for the San Antonio Spurs. Maybe we go with Rudy Gobert, Timberwolf. 12 minutes to go in this game. Ball's on the far side, as it normally is. Faribault kicks it to midfield. Now it comes back to Albert Lee. And it's kicked back. And Albert Lee kicks it back again. And they knock it down. Do the Tigers. Faribault trying to gain control. They do for an instant, but Albert Lee ends up with it. And now they're going to say the ball goes to Faribault right at midfield. And they'll get to kick it up the field. As we're approaching 11 and a half minutes to go in this game. We're tied at 1 apiece. Faribault scored the first goal at the 34-36 mark. 24-16 Albert Lee scored. There's a kick. It bounces. And be a save for Wallace again. I think it was Boyd who kicked it. So Wallace will punt it. Takes the ball and punts it. Knocked down by Faribault. Like a pinball there for a second. As Faribault will kick it ahead. Right to left on your radio dial. They're giving chase. She gets tripped. Yellow. So the Falcons are going to get a corner kick here from the left of Wallace. Oh, no, I'm sorry. They get a free kick. I thought he set it down on the far corner. He did initially. Now it's on the top of the box, kind of to the left. It's at an angle. Wallace, the goalkeeper. Ball's kicked, and it goes off her hands. And one of the Tigers was there, and they're bouncing on it, and it rolls in. Did Faribault score? How do you like them petunias? Who gets credit for the goal? There are a bunch of people there. Well, they didn't put it on the board yet. Well, I don't know who got the goal. I know there was a massive humanity right in front of the net. Did you see who got the goal, Troy? Who got the goal? What? I don't think Dave saw it either. It was just a bunch of people right there by the ball, and all of a sudden it trickled into the goal. I couldn't even yell my goal.
Falcons scoring goal is a wall massive of people. I can't say number one.
What was that? Oh, they don't know. Okay, well, it'd be nice. You know, in hockey, the official comes over and tells you who scores the goal. I mean, if you can count the goal, you got to know who scored it, right? So 2-1 Faribault. I'd love to tell you there was. I'm not kidding. There was a mass of people right in front of the goal. All of a sudden, it trickled in. As Albert Lee was trying to bottle it up, it went off the hands of the goalkeeper, and Faribault bounced it in somehow. So Faribault's got the 2-1 lead. Can they sit on this for 9 minutes? My guess is they'd like to get another goal. Albert Lee's going to inbound it. Last time it took him 10 minutes to answer. Inbound pass came in from Peyton Seeger. She's a freshman. Seeger gets it back, kicks it toward the goal. It's a header by Faribault out in front of the net. Knocked down by Albert Lee. Oh! Anderson comes sliding out to get the ball. There was a Tiger right by her. So Anderson. Their coach asked her if she was in the zone before the game. I was there when I was getting some pronunciations, and she said, "I think I am, Coach." She said, "Good, that's what I want to hear." So far, she's only allowed 1 goal, and I think by far she's seen more shots than Wallace has for Albert Lee. Not official by any means, but it seems that way as we're approaching 8:20 to go. That clock is fast becoming Faribault's best friend. They're up 2-1. Pass comes in. Nobody has control. It gets deflected a couple of times, knocked down again. Trying to gain control for Albert Lee was London Berglund. And it goes out of bounds again, and Albert Lee's going to inbound it again. Pass comes in. Berglund reverses course, kicks it toward the box. It's stolen by Faribault. It's kicked ahead by the Falcons. I'm sure they feel a lot more comfortable if the ball was in the Albert Lee zone. Now Faribault trying to do just that. Ball's at midfield. Albert Lee keeping some people back to not allow that to happen. Kick goes on the far side. Faribault. Ball's popped up by Albert Lee. It's going to go out of bounds and belong to the Falcons. As we're approaching 7 minutes to go in this game. Faribault leads it 2-1. For lack of a better term, a scrum goal. Ball's kicked up in the air off the knee of a Falcon, goes toward midfield on the far side. Again, they're on the far side. This pass comes in. Gets knocked away. Iralu had it for an instant. Ball's on the far side, a little bit of confusion. The pass comes in. It's kicked by Faribault. Albert Lee gets it toward the box. We're approaching 6 minutes to go in this game. Albert Lee trying to pick up their first conference win. Faribault's trying to pick up their first conference win. Albert Lee would have their third, if I remember right. That's if the MN-Scores website is right. Nothing, 0, nada on the Big Nine Conference website. No standings for girls soccer, no standings for boys soccer.
First 2, White, let's go.
You can hear the Tiger fans. They want their Tigers to get some. Oh, man, that hit young lady right in the chops. As Voigt trying to come out of there with it, kind of lost control. In the same instant she was kicking it, there's a header by Faribault, trying to get it out of there. And then punching it forward was Faribault. It's knocked down by Albert Lee. There's a header by the Tigers. Another header by the Tigers. And it's going to belong to the Tigers. They're going to get a free kick here. So Faribault is going to set up a wall just on the other side of the top of the box. It's kicked, and nice job by Anderson. She elevated to just knock the ball over the goal. That was a great save. Her height helped her there. That was a very good kick. It was right on. As kicking the ball for Albert Lee again was the young lady who has their only goal, Heidemann. It was right on, too. It just a tad high, but she wanted to get it over the goalie's head, and the goalkeeper timed her jump perfectly. I'm kind of hoping she's a basketball player. Off the side of the net goes the ball, and Faribault has got 4 minutes before their first conference win of the season. Troy Temple and Gordy Kosfeld is the good luck charm. There's a kick ahead into the Albert Lee zone. The Faribault Falcons would like to kind of maintain control here the rest of the way if they could. Kick goes ahead. Albert Lee's going to give chase. and they'll kick it out of bounds. So Faribault will inbound it on the near sideline. On the near sideline. There's the ball on the near side. Faribault zone, or Albert Lee zone, I should say. Faribault trying to gain control of the ball as we're approaching 2.5 minutes to go in this game. Albert Lee needs the ball. Faribault wants to play a keep away at the moment. Ooh, there's a little back pass. Faribault's going to kick it down closer, and it's going to be at the box, and it's kicked away from danger by the Albert Lee Tigers. Almost able to get down there for a bit of a breakaway that time. Was Faribault's hammer. Pass comes in. Bertram's going to kick it toward midfield. Albert Lee's going to kick it forward. Now Bertram gains control. Kicks it to midfield. Albert Lee had it for an instant. We have 2 minutes to go in this game. 2-1, Faribault Falcons lead. Ball's on the far sideline. The Tigers need to score a goal to tie this thing. Kick ahead. It's deflected by Faribault. Knocked down by Faribault. Kick forward by the Falcons, right to left. Bertram giving chase. It's kicked back into the Falcons zone. Now Albert Lee at midfield, just to the top of the box. There's the kick, and it's wide of the goal by Albert Lee's Peyton Seeger, the freshman. Anderson gives chase to the back fencing. We have 1.5 minutes to go in this game. 1:28 to be precise. As we have a substitution here. Boyd's going to look to kick it out. All the official says, wait a minute, just as she was getting ready to approach the ball. So he's going to go talk to the clock operator. No, I thought it was a 1:28, so I didn't see a tick at all. So now she gets to approach it. The kick on the far side. We have 1:23 to go. The PA announcer getting ready to yell 1 minute to go. That being Dave Weaver. And one of the Falcons just went to her knees. Faribault, all they want to do is play keep away right now. They have a 2-1 lead. We're approaching 1 minute to go. Albert Lee trying to gain control. Faribault just kicking it out of there. Kicking it ahead. A nice pass to her left, and we're going to have a stoppage of play here for no, we aren't. There's 49 seconds. The clock continues to tick. The Tigers tying her cleats, and the clock continues to tick. Here's Faribault kick, and it goes off the hands of Wallace and over the goal. So Faribault is going to get a corner kick here from the left of Wallace with 21 seconds to go in the game. Voigt's going to kick it. Got to keep my Voight straight again. That's his Fiona. Boom. Toward the middle of the field. Bertram's going to chase it down. The clock ticks. 16, 15, 14. Bertram loses the ball. It's kicked to the near side, but out of bounds.
8,
and there
7,
you hear it.
6, 5, 4, 3.
Pass comes
2,
in.
1. Game over.
Faribault wins 2-1 over the Albert Lee Tigers. Yeah, they're pretty excited. The Faribault Falcons pick up a Big Nine Conference win here at Ball Field Troy Temple is a good luck charm for the Faribault Falcon ladies.
Looking for a dedicated real estate expert in Faribault or the surrounding areas? Meet Evan Knutson from Weikert Realty. Evan brings local knowledge, personalized service, and a commitment to helping you find the perfect home. Whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring, Evan's expertise and passion make the process smooth and stress-free. Don't just find a house, find a home with Evan Knutson at Weikert Realty. Visit Weikert.com or call 507-210-9140 and take the first step towards your dream home.
Since the turn of the century, Federated Mutual Insurance Company and many of our employees have called Owatonna home. We work hand in hand with our neighbors through giving, volunteering, and focusing on community initiatives. We invest in this community because we love to see opportunities and advancements, such as the new high school and the downtown developments. We enjoy seeing the citizens of our great community continue to grow and thrive. And above all, we are proud to be part of Owatonna's rich history and all that Owatonna has to offer.
Looking for a dedicated real estate expert in Faribault or the surrounding areas? Meet Evan Knutson from Weikert Realty. Evan brings local knowledge, personalized service, and a commitment to helping you find the perfect home. Whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring, Evan's expertise and passion make the process smooth and stress-free. Don't just find a house, find a home with Evan Knutson at Weikert Realty. Visit Weikert.com or call 507-210-9140 and take the first step towards your dream home.
Well, the Faribault Falcons did beat the Austin Packers earlier this year, so that's their second Big Nine Conference win, but nevertheless, excitement as they win at Ball Field here tonight on an absolutely gorgeous night for any sport. And 2-1 is your final score. We never did find out who got the second goal. I'll see if we can't find that out from someone. Someone's going to have to get it put on the statistical sheet. So if I find out, and I hope I will, I'll share it with you in the morning at 7:40 on our sports tomorrow here on KDHL.
Since the turn of the century, Federated Mutual Insurance Company and many of our employees have called Owatonna home. We work hand in hand with our neighbors through giving, volunteering, and focusing on community initiatives. We invest in this community because we love to see opportunities and advancements, such as the new high school and the downtown developments. We enjoy seeing the citizens of our great community continue to grow and thrive. And above all, we are proud to be part of Owatonna's rich history and all that Owatonna has to offer.
All right, that concludes our broadcast tonight. Faribault Falcon Girls Soccer, hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please thank these people for making it possible. Federated Mutual Insurance in Owatonna. Weikert Realtors, Evan Knutson, your agent here in Faribault. Also by Gopher Hills Golf Course. They brought you our broadcast tonight from Ball Soccer Complex. Tomorrow night we've got BA homecoming football game against the Goodhue Wildcats. Randy Sobrak on the call beginning at 6:45. I'll be on Power 96 with the Faribault Falcons tangling with the Austin Packers in Austin. Saturday, I will be on Power 96 with the Carleton Knights at Hamlin University in St. Paul. Our coverage will begin at 12:40. Roy Koenig will have the St. Olafoldies on the road at McAllister in St. Paul, a night game. He'll get underway about 6:40 right here on the mighty 920. Again, Troy Temple was here from FCTV getting the camera work in so that it can go on our FCTV website and the cable channel, and I'm sure they'll show it a number of times over the next few weeks. If you want to let your friends and relatives know, they can watch the match and find out just what happened here tonight. Again, the final score 2-1. The Faribault Falcons pick up their second Big Nine Conference win. Want to thank the coach of the Faribault Falcons for her terrific cooperation, Britta Peterson Lindy. Certainly thank her for doing that. And I know she was actually pretty excited that we were here, so that was kind of nice. We do appreciate it. I asked her if she could send a couple of kids out on Saturday. She said, well, it's our youth soccer at the time that I'm doing the broadcast. And I said, well, maybe they could, take a few minutes to come out and talk to us at Jana's Market Grill. She said, talk to me after the match and we'll see what we can do. So that's exactly what I plan on doing. Till next time, this is Gordy Kosfeld. Have a fantastic rest of the night. And this got somehow off kilter again. I don't understand why it continually does this. It shouldn't do that, but it did. Get knocked off kilter again, and I didn't even touch anything. It's still off kilter. So I can't go back to regular programming yet till I get it back on kilter. And, of course, it's such teeny, tiny font. I can't really see it real well. This better do it right now. It didn't do it. Okay. Well, we can't go to regular programming until we get this thing working right. So we're going to try and reconnect, see if that works. Why is it not working? Should be working. Well, it's for whatever reason, it is not going the way it's supposed to go. I'm pushing the right buttons, and it's not kicking in here. So